Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be doing an activity related to mathematical string art, which is something I had currently used during my summer STEM class. So first and foremost, we all would like to know what a right angle actually is. So a right angle is pretty much an angle at exactly 90 degrees, which could either be in a corner of a square or it can be an intersection of two perpendicular lines, straight lines. So everyone wants to know, who says you can't create curves with line segments? So line designs are actually utilized on basic geometric forms, and also line designs form a basis for mathematical understanding of geometric shapes and relationships of different points, segments, and angles. So this is relatively considered to be kind of part of when you are graphing different points on an X and Y axis. So today we are going to use actually 3 different templates to draw, and then later I will show you what the designs come out like using actual string. So first we will need a template of a perfect right angle. We also have a square. And lastly, we have a hexagon. So first, we will use our right angle template here, and you will need to use a pencil and a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, I would try to use something with a more stable straight edge, kind of like a folder or notebook or even a note card. Just make sure that you're using your lines or using your rulers well and slow. So we don't want to make multiple lines, and we want to make sure that the angles come out right when we use each point here on the template. So first on our, like I said, our right angle, we will be starting with our number points here on this side on the top, and then we will be using our number dots on the bottom here. But we always want to start with our top dots here on the side, and they are all numbered 1 through 15 as they are on the bottom. So first we are actually going to start with our number 1 dot at the top here, and then our number 1 dot on the bottom. So take your ruler or straight edge and connect the dots from point 1 to point 1, which should come out like that with my marker, as you can see here on the side. And we will actually be continuing to use those lines from 2 to 2, 3 to 3, all the way from 15 to 15. And once we are done, we will actually end up having a curved line as we were using straight lines. So real quick, let's just go through and connect all of our number dots together. And this is also a really good practice for when you use these same templates for when you use your actual like string or thread, because these templates will actually make sure that your lines are completely straight when you are using the string and they don't look off with the angles. And also the string art is a little extra hobby of mine as well, because you can kind of have a new fun way to use math in a fun and creative way, because I know some kids do not like math, and I know they just think it's just learning different equations and just learning new techniques, but this kind of makes it a little bit fun for everyone, because you can practice on a piece of paper by drawing your templates and then being able to use like a needle and simple thread and using different colors. So I have connected all of my points here. And as you can see, we use straight lines, but we ended up making a very curved line in the end. So real quick, also the trick is with the square template that I will also be showing you, the square is actually a full version of the right angle that we actually just drew. So if we use this technique with the right angles, we will use them in all 4 of the square angles in the end, which actually a lot of people did not know. So lastly, we will be doing a quick version of our hexagon here. Now the difference with the hexagon is that they're not exactly equal angles, 90-degree angles here. So if you kind of cut these in half and make triangles, you're not exactly going to get that perfect 90-degree angle. You would end up getting more of like an acute angle. So what we want to do is, there are a lot more numbers on the hexagon than we did on the right angle. So what I will want everyone to do is, actually, we're going to draw lines, intersecting lines, to be able to create smaller triangles. And we're going to end up making, I believe, 6 different triangles and finding out 6 different designs. So what I want everyone to do is start with their number 8 here and line it up with the number 8 diagonally from it and draw a straight line using your ruler or note card real quick. And make sure that the lines are completely lined up correctly, otherwise it won't come out like it's supposed to. So we will create our one line just like that. Now we will do our other number 8 point diagonally to the other number 8 dot on the bottom. And by doing that, we created an X, but we also created our first 2 triangles here. Now, if you want in the future, when you get a little bit more practice with it, you can actually end up just leaving your design just like this if you want, or just making one line down the middle or across, however you'd like to do it. But right now, we're just going to learn this little practice to kind of help get you started with making those other designs in the future. So now that we have our X, we need to draw a line across. So we will be finding our number 8 dot over here, and then our number 8 dot over here on the other side. So let's draw that real quick. So now we have 6 smaller triangles. And again, these don't necessarily come out being 90-degree angles. So they're kind of more a little acute angles if you really look at it, but that's totally fine. So now that we have our 6 triangles, we get to draw little different line designs in each of them. So some little tricks with that. We can imagine having, let's see, the first one could be just a simple little mini curved line like we did in the right angle. We would just draw our lines from the right side to the left side of that little triangle. So we would go from right to left here. So all we would have to do is start at the, we would actually end up making little dots here on the lines that we just drew. And that is why I also prefer a ruler, because we will need to measure this in centimeters. And just line your ruler up against this line here, starting from the point in the middle, and measure out centimeters and just make little dashes and then go back and kind of make them dots, because when we actually use the string, we're going to be putting our needle through the string and poking little holes, so we have a way to pull our string through and make the design. So once everyone has created these little dots, we will end up connecting our points here, just kind of like on a graph again with an X and Y axis. So we will do right to left. So we would consider this the number 1 on the bottom, but then angle it up towards the top number 1. So you can go from bottom to top, top to bottom, as long as it's even on the line. It gets a little tricky with this. So once we would do that, we would end up going up to the second dot here and lining it up with the second dot up here, which I will have everyone do with their rulers real quick. Now, once you get past the first couple ones, you'll kind of get the hang of it a little bit. It's all just about technique and just kind of keeping track on your number dots. A little thing I like to do sometimes is sometimes label the number next to the dot so I can mentally keep track of what numbers to line up correctly. If it's a little bit confusing, just kind of tell yourself, okay, I'm doing this direction, so just time up the numbers of the dots correctly. So we're going to do 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 5, 6 to 6, 7 to 7, and then 8 to 8, which ends up showing us our curve line here, but we were using straight lines in order to make the curve line. We weren't making curve lines to make a curve line. So in the end, I would like to show everyone what I did using right angles on a perfect square. This is a little one I did myself. And then this is another design I use using the square template as well, but starting with right angles. So when you do a template, or I'm sorry, a square template, you'll actually end up using, end up making little mini right angles all around. So you're kind of combining both techniques here. And I also used the technique from the hexagon to make a curved line on top of that as well. But that you just need a little bit more practice with. It's not something you'll really start out doing. But overall, string art is a fun way for mathematics. Like I said before, it's a different way for you to actually have a fun way to use math. And it also may give you a little bit of practice for when you plot points as well. So I hope everyone will like to try this one day. And again, you can use any kind of thread, string that you can find yourself. But I would start out with paper templates and use some of these simple techniques to kind of get some practice and then start making one big grand design. So I hope everyone had fun, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.